Let's officially start. It's very good to see you. Hello, hello, welcome. We can start today with a very simple meditation, mindfulness of the body. This is what's available to us right here, right now. So you can choose any posture you like. You can lie down, you can sit, you can stand. The fourth posture would be walking, but this guided meditation is more for sitting, lying down, or standing also if you like. So you can sit comfortably either on a chair, on a cushion, cross-legged. We can bring to mind our willingness to cultivate mindfulness, to cultivate goodwill, metta for ourselves and for others. Realizing that we will dedicate this time for this kind of cultivation. We cultivate harmlessness towards ourselves and others during that time. And we can bring to heart our resolve to put aside for a short while some concerns about people, about things to do, about future plans. This can wait. We can invite them a bit later when it's necessary. We can also bring to mind for a short moment, as you can, the image of the Buddha, who also made this resolve when he sat under the Bodhi tree. For several weeks, this resolve to awaken. The figure of the Buddha can be, or any kind of figure, can be useful just to reconnect to that resolve, to this kind of wish. He did it too. In that time, long time ago, 2,600 years ago, more than that, he also sat like we are sitting right now, bringing forth mindfulness, contemplation in the body. He did that too. He was a human being, like we are right now. I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable with it. And notice that there is body. How does it feel? One can sense some connection with earth through the pelvis sitting on the cushion, or through the legs on a chair, and the density, the gravity that is pulled towards the earth. Yet there is this verticality through the spine, that opens up on the top of the head. There is a front, a back, left side, right side, space around. This is body. Not demanding anything, no expectations regarding the body. Just sitting with the body. It feels like this. Pulses, tingling, pains are felt. Maybe a sense of shape shape of the leg, shape of the arms, coming and going, more or less sharp boundaries. Some warmth, some coolness. And the breathing in the body. This sense of swelling, of pressure upon inhalation. And subsiding upon exhalation. Body is breathing. There is expansion upon breathing in. Then when the body has enough, there is a kind of stop. Then there is release. And again a gap. And after a short while, it starts again. Breathing in. Fullness in the body. A gap. Release. And a gap again. Swelling again. It's interesting to put our attention to the gap after the breathing out. realizing that the breathing cycle starts again on its own accord. Breath is always changing. Sometimes long breath, sometimes short breath. Painful, enjoyable. It occurs by itself, it's not personal. Always there for us to be observed. The mind might come and wander back into its stories, memories, to-do list, bringing back to the breath. To the fullness of breath, the entire breathing in and the entire breathing out. Notice the beginning of the breathing in, the middle, the end, the small gap, and then the release, the beginning of the release, middle part of the release, the end part of the release, and the other gap. The full cycle can be watched. If the mind wanders, no problem, bring it back to the breath, beginning, middle, end. If the mind wanders, bring it back. If there is numbness, it's possible to allow a longer inhalation to bring energy. If the heart is tight, one can release through exhalation. The rhythm might slow down. And some contentment and joy might arise in the heart. Just by watching the breath, beginning, middle, and end. If the mind is catching up on different ideas, judgment, elaborations, That's okay. Bring it back to the breath. And smile. For the next few minutes, I invite you to stay with this gentle rhythm of the breath. Beginning, middle, end, and the gaps. If the mind wanders, bring it back. we can now expand our span of attention to the whole body again. Whole body breathing. And whenever you are ready, slowly, very slowly, at your own pace, you can open your eyes again. Thank you for your practice. So after this kind of meditation, we can feel very energized, contented, joyful, or completely the contrary, because the mind couldn't stick to the object of meditation, which is the breath. So yes, both are totally valid experience. There is no both are what they are. We have to learn from the situation, the kind of state of mind we were before, where we had difficulties to stick to the breath, for example, the gaps between the in-breath and the out-breath are generally moments when the mind starts to wander off again. So this is nice to notice that, and also what was done before sitting meditation, for example, what we've done previous hours, previous days, and learn from that. So this kind of meditation was different. It was still meditation on the breath, but a bit different than what we did the previous time. The previous time was actually learning about the breath, how to use it in order to release tensions in the body, and trying to use it and modifying so that the body feels more comfortable. And it was also a way to use the mind skillfully during that time. And in this kind of meditations we have just done, it is more putting the attention for a longer period of time on the object of the breath. So it is used, both will lead to concentration of the mind, calming of the mind, But the second one, just staying with the full in breath, staying in between the gap, in the gap, and then full out breath, and again. And if we can keep this attentiveness through several cycles of the breath, then because it's very slow, this kind of rhythm, and it is really different than in worldly life, in normal life, where the life goes much more quicker, I would say. So here the mind has to stay attentive to the whole cycle of breath, and it requires some effort to do so. But then because it's very slow and also soothing, then it starts to calm the mind. Yes, and you can also notice that you might have some preferences in the cycle. So either the in-breath, needing energy, or you might prefer the releasing, because you need to cool down, to calm down. So you can also notice that, and it can change over time, but just if you stay long enough with it for a very short time, but it's also a kind of training, and the mind will start to learn to stay with it and to enjoy it, and then contentment will issue in this up and down cycle. Or it's possible that, as I said at the end of this meditation, that because it's changing all the time, it's never constant. Even one breath cannot look like the next one. And because it's changing enough, so I'm always here, so drawing the same shape, but it's not like this actually. So it might be a very short in-breath, and then long, long, or it can be long and short, and short and long. So because it's changing all the time, the mind, it's possible that the mind do not like it, because it's always changing, right? And it's always changing. It might feel uncomfortable, because it cannot stay for a long time, and it wants to keep it like brightening energy. I want to keep it. Oh, now it's the release again. Oh no. So it can give insight in the impermanence of things, actually. In the breathing cycles, nothing is permanent, it's changing all the time. And therefore it's not, you cannot hold on the breath. You cannot really grasp it. This moment is different than this moment. And you think that, okay, now I got it. I got the smoothness of the breath. And then now it's changing again. And then this gap. And then so this kind of impermanence might be also annoying for the mind, for the heart, and it brings insight into life, because nothing stay constant, permanent. Everything is changing all the time at every moment, like the breath. So let's say that we have to realize that you cannot grasp at anything, because it's changing, and because it's changing all the time, it's also suffering. So it's also, this kind of meditation can also bring insight into the suffering nature of life. So there are different sides how we can use the breath, either for concentration or for insight practice. Then it can be a mix of the two. So you can use it for concentration, for keeping the mind on the breath. It will get absorbed into the breath. Or it will bring insight if you want it or not. So that's a quite interesting practice. You can sit every day, and every day you will discover new things about yourself just by practicing this kind of contemplation. Yes. So this technique of bringing the mind to the beginning, middle and end, to the full in-breath and out-breath, and then cut it, let's say, in the beginning, middle and end, is actually how the Buddha describes contemplation on the breath in the suttas. I'm trying to find my notebook. Yes, because it's in the Satipatthana Sutta, in the 4 foundations of mindfulness.